Hello everyone, in this video we're going to develop the beam stiffness based on the energy method. We use direct approach to find the stiffness matrix of bar elements or truss elements, but for beam we need to use the energy method. And for that reason we have to find the potential energy, which is the combination of the strain energy and the work done by the external forces. So the work done by the external forces is simply F times U, and then if the direction of the force and displacements are opposite, you get that negative sign. The strain energy is the area under force displacement curve, and the strain energy is defined for the elastic region. So if we need to model the plastic region, this won't be applicable. So the strain energy would be half of Fd, that would be the area under force displacement curve. And if I replace force by the stress sigma times A and then the displacement by epsilon L, therefore I can group A and L and call them V, or if you want to take an integral, dV, and that would be our strain energy. So based on the Hooke's law, I know sigma is equals to E epsilon. So if I replace that, I get E epsilon squared over 2. And if my material property is not changing in length, which is the case for most problems, I can take it out of integral. So I need to find epsilon. And then we saw in the previous video that epsilon is y over rho. Y is the distance from the central axis and rho is the radius of curvature. Or we can write it as y second derivative of deflection. So if I replace it in the equation, I can further simplify that. And if I take y out of the integral and then have its own integration, this would be the definition of second moment of area, and then I could put it here. So that would be EI over 2 second derivative of deflection. So my task to find the strain energy is to find this second derivative of deflection. So let's go and look at our shape functions. So we can write the deflection whether in the global coordinate based on x. It is a third order because we have 4 nodal variables, or we can write it based on the local coordinate c. But in any case, it's based on our shape function and nodal variables. So if I want to find the second derivative of deflection, I just need to take second derivative of my shape function. And because the nodal variables are constant values, so that would be simply the second derivative of my shape function. I'm going to call that D, or the D matrix. Sometimes this one is referred to as B matrix, but I would like to reserve the B matrix for quadrilateral and triangular element. And here U represents the displacement. So the total matrix here would be U. So I'm going to write my second derivative of deflection based on D matrix and my nodal variable U matrix. So here I'm going to replace this value by D matrix times U, but I need to have these values squared. How do we multiply matrices together? We multiply them by their transpose, so we can have matrix multiplication. And you need to remember, in matrices A, matrix A times B, let me write it in matrix form, would be equal to B transpose A. So the order flips, and that's what we have done here. We multiply by its transpose, so it would be squared. And if I replace it into our equation and add W, the external work, to find the potential energy, then to find the stiffness, I need to minimize the potential energy, or take a derivative of the potential energy with respect to displacement. So this is the energy method in a nutshell. Take minimizing the potential energy to find the stiffness matrix, and that's what we are going to do for finding the stiffness matrix for quadrilateral element, for triangular element, and for 3D elements as well. So that's the equation that I'm gonna get. You can think of this as u. We have u squared, and when you take a derivative, it's gonna cancel with 2, and that's what we're gonna get. If I compare it with fku, you can see this value would be my k, or my stiffness matrix, which is function of the mechanical properties, elastic modulus, I, cross-sectional properties, so second moment of area, D matrix, which is second derivative of my deflection, which is based on nodal shape functions, and I get the stiffness matrix. If I replace the value, that's the matrix that I'm gonna get. It's EI over L, which is the length of our element. You can see it's a 4x4 matrix because we have 4 degrees of freedom for 2 node beam element. There are 2 nodes, so at each node there are 2 nodal variables, deflection and the slope. So I'm gonna have 4 degrees of freedom. So to write the beam stiffness matrix, all I need is the length and then the mechanical property E, and I, the cross-sectional property of my element.